Okay, what is up, everybody? And today we are actually not going to be on the new map, but we are going to be talking about the new content, because we are going to be comparing the M1 Garand, which you get in the Smoking Barrels weapon pack, in comparison to the new 303. So let's quickly go over the stats before we start here, but let's look at the two ammunition. So for the 303 British polymer chip bullet, at least, because we're going to be comparing the two polymer chips versus each other, it has an effective range of 150 meters, penetration of 40, expansion of 12, and the recommended classes are 4 to 8, which is the same for both the M1 and the 300. Not 300, 303. Now, comparing that to the 30-06 bullets, which the M1 is going to be using, it has an effective range of 150, penetration of 40, expansion of 11, and recommended classes of 4 to 8. So these two are basically the same except for the expansion, which is a little bit bigger on the 303. Now, I can tell you from yesterday's stream and doing some follow-on today, it does feel a lot more powerful, but the firing rate is just a bit slower. So why don't we start here on the range and just look kind of how it would be for grinding animals. Now, we are going to be zeroed for 150. This target range is supposed to be exactly at 150, so why don't we try and look if we take all 5 shots in consecutive order, how close we can get all 5 of them when we compare both guns to each other. So let's start here with the 303. And of course, I'm always going to be trying to hitting the actual, and we took 6 shots there, so we can actually shoot as many as we want, but you can kind of see how our spread is there on the 303. Now let's compare to the M1. I think the M1 could potentially do a little better. I do have to say I did give myself a little bit of time to re-aim every single time. So why don't we just try and reset this. And now let's compare it to the M1, which I have a feeling should be... Oh, completely lost target there. Should probably do a little bit better. So yeah, I can already see that now. That is a lot more points in the middle circle. But we did have 2 shots which are further away, but you can kind of see that between shots I could fire this a lot faster. Now let's just look and just consecutively try and shoot. Like that. And let's compare that to the M1. So it is pretty similar actually. I thought there would be a bigger difference. Huh. That is very odd. I really did think that there was a bigger difference. There might not be that big of a difference. I don't know. I want to try this one more time just to make sure that I'm not doing anything wrong, but I think this might actually replace the M1 for me. I was kind of coming in here that I thought the conclusion would be that the M1 would be better for stuff like white-tailed deer, but it doesn't seem to be as accurate as I thought it would be. Huh. That is odd. I think then that we can almost go to the conclusion that the M1 is going to be not the best gun now. I think the 303 might actually beat the M1. We are just going to do one more accuracy test. We're going to go to 250, which is between the 2 zeroing distances. Stay at 150, give it 1 shot each, and see how close we can actually get with just shooting basically right in the center. So I'll give it the best chances for both guns. So I am laying down, which I don't know why it's not letting me lay down properly. Okay, let me figure out why I can't lay down. There we go. Okay, I figured out how to lay down now. Now let's just give it the best chance that it can have. Target is a little bit small on my monitor, so why don't we give it kind of 2 shots. Okay, that was a bad one, sorry. Okay, so it doesn't have as insane bullet drop. Now it looks like we're gonna drop about 1 circle with the 303. Let's just give it one more chance at a straight on angle, but I am kind of trying to stay right on the red dot. Ooh, I aimed a little bit low there. Okay, so if we aim about a half a circle above, so I would say that's about one black dot size of the Argus scope below, you are kind of zeroed in for 250 exactly. Now let's compare that to the M1. We all know that the M1 is pretty accurate, but maybe they changed something. Let's have a look here. Hit the exact spot there twice. Oh, I aimed very low there. It's hard to try and get the same spot every single time, which is why I'm trying to just look at the same spot here, but it does seem to have a very similar drop distance as the 303, which let's go to conclusion here. Let's finish this up. I think you all kind of get the point, but the 303 has a different sound. It has a very unique scope as well. Like this, it is more powerful in my opinion. I feel like animals are dropping quicker than with the M1, at least the lower level animals. I haven't tested it on elk or anything like that yet, but for what it seems to be in accuracy, fire rate, stuff like that, I thought it was slower, but apparently it's not. So if you really want to think about what you want to take with you on a hunt, if you're grinding animals and have to take 3 to 4 shots, I think it's going to be personal preference to what you want. If you're going for something maybe a bit bigger, I would probably recommend the 303. But if you like the sound of the M1, I would still recommend using the M1. If you like the sound of the 300, I would recommend that too. I think they're both very similar. There's just one difference. It's the expansion. And they have the same kind of drop off. They're both the same accurate. We gave them kind of the same test. And you can just see they're very close, but I think for now I'm going to be rocking the 303 and just seeing how that does in long term, and then I'll follow up with this kind of at a later date to see which one I actually end up preferring. Now if you want to see it earlier, see me using it on streams and videos, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. If you enjoyed this video or thought that it was helpful, definitely do hit that like button, as it really does help the channel and the video out a lot. Also, comment down below which one you think you prefer and what you think of the new 303, because I absolutely love it. I love the sound, I like the new scope, and it looks really cool. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a good day. Have a good day, bye bye, and peace.